Just loosen up a bit. Let's start with some neck rolls. Just roll your head around on your shoulder blades. All the way to the back. Bring your ear down towards your shoulder. Your chin towards your chest. Nice and slow rolls. Not forcing our head in any direction. Just limbering up. Getting some mobility. Get those creaks and cracks out. We stop as we come down, switch directions. Slowly rotating our head around our necks. Ear down towards your shoulder. Chin towards your chest. Repeat the ear on the other side. All the way around back. Slowly come to rest. And relax. Let's reach up to the sky, nice and tall. Elongating our spines, reaching as tall as high as we can. Really reaching. The palms facing each other. We're going to slowly rotate our arms down, presenting our palms forward. We bring our arms down low. As we bring them low, our palms face each other again. We cross our bodies, keeping rotating our shoulders so that our palms face back. Give ourselves a nice big hug. We continue stretching all the way up top, rotating our shoulders so our palms are facing each other again. Stretch up nice and tall, reaching as high as you can towards the sky. Tilt your head back. And now let's reverse direction. Bring our arms down across our bodies, turning our shoulders so our palms are facing backwards. Give yourself a nice big hug. Thank yourself for doing this today. Continue rotating your shoulders down. Palms facing towards each other. And as we bring our arms up, rotate so your palms are facing forward. Stretch up nice and high. Bring your palms back towards each other. Elongating our spines, tilting our heads back. And relax. Okay, now let's get into it. We're going to move a bit today. We're going to move our bodies. We're going to get a little bit more active, a little bit more of a moderate intensity exercises. We're going to start off with our normal squats that we do, except instead of just coming down and going up, when we get to the low position, we're going to hold it for a moment and then come back up. So let's begin that. We're going to do 2 sets of 2 exercises, and then we're going to do 2 sets of 2 more exercises, and we're going to repeat that. So let's go down for a squat. Down. We hold it for a moment. And up. We come down to a squat, bringing our knees to about a 90-degree angle, keeping our knees tracked over our toes, and we push up. We come down again, bring our arms forward for balance, and up. As we come down, we want to keep a nice straight back. Maybe we'll lean forward. We're leaning forward just so slightly. And up. We come down. And up. We come down. And up. Let's do that a few more times. Down. Hold it. And up. 2 more. Down. And up. And the last one. And up. Next, we're going to continue on with ankle taps. we're going to bring our foot up and just tap our foot. And we're going to try to do a little bit with some pace. Keeping lightly on our toes. We don't want to be stomping on the ground, just nice and light. And we'll come up, touch your toes, and then the other side. We're switching, touching the opposite foot with the hand that we're reaching down. Alrighty, ready? We're going to do this with a little bit of pace. Touch, touch, touch. While we're doing this, we want to try to maintain a nice, tight core. Try to focus on our core. And we're reaching down towards our toes. Keeping nice and light on our toes. Not stomping too hard. Let's do a few more. And relax.
I'm moving all over the place.
Told you to have a little bit of extra room if you got it tonight. And from time to time, just might want to take your headset off, reposition yourself, make sure you're in a good spot so you're not going to step on any stray Legos, maybe the cat's tail, you know, maybe a book that you have out.
Right, yeah.
Let's shake our legs out. We're going to do those 2 exercises one more time. Okay, let's begin with our squats. So we come down, hold it, and up. And we come down, and up. Down, and up. Come down, and up. Again, as we're doing our squat down, we're making sure our knees are tracking over our toes. They're not coming out to the sides. They're not buckling inwards. And up. We come down. And up. Keeping a nice straight back. We're leaning forward ever so slightly to keep that straight back. And up. Let's do 2 more. Down and hold it. And up. And one more time. Down. And up. Next, we're doing the toe touches or the ankle taps. Nice and light feet. We're taking a hand, bringing it to the opposite foot. We're just touching the ankle or the toe. And we're going to do it at a little bit of pace. We're focusing on our core a bit, keeping it nice and tight. Let's do a few more. Then we can take a break and get a drink. And relax. Whew, shake your legs out. How they feeling? Getting that lactic acid building up yet? You starting to get warm?
Light, but I was like Mozilla.
You were nice and light on your feet?
No, I was Mozilla.
Oh. Opposite, not so light. All right, we can work on that. You know, land on the balls of your feet a little bit rather than on your heel.
That would probably work better for me, yes.
Next, we're going to do a lunge, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. Rather than stepping forward into our lunge, we're going to step back. We're going to do a reverse lunge. So we're just going to put our hands onto our hips, take a step back, and come down into a lunge, and back up. And switch legs, down, and up. Down, and up. Switch legs. We'll continue switching legs for a few minutes, just about 20 to 30 seconds. In this exercise, we're trying to focus on keeping a nice tight core. As we come down, we don't want to bash our knee into the ground. Come down just so slightly and maybe just tap it on the ground. And back up. Let's do 2 more on each side. And our last one. And relax. Next we're going to do a toe touch to a high heel. So that's going to look like this. We're going to take a little bit wider stance than our shoulders. We're going to bring our hand down towards our opposite foot. Putting our arm up, we're going to present our chest towards the side, putting our arm up towards the sky. And then when we come back up into the T position, we raise up onto our toes and back down. And then switch sides. Touch our toe, arm up, presenting your chest towards the side. Back up into T pose, toe raise, and down. Touch our toes. Up. Toe raise. And down. And switch sides. And up. Toe raise. And down. Let's do 2 more per side. And down. We touch our toes. Up, toe raise, and down. Last rep. And come up, toe raise, back down. And relax. Let's give ourselves about 15 seconds. You can grab a quick drink if you want. And we're going to do those 2 exercises one more time.
Okay,
Okay, good and hydrated. Keep nice and hydrated. If you're starting to get a sweat going, you might want to wipe your brow a little. Okay, we're going to go back to our reverse lunges. Make sure you've got enough room behind you to take about a half a step back. And we're going to step back, go into a lunge, and come back up. And then switch legs. Step back and lunge. And up. We switch legs.
Okay, so
Do you have a question, or are you able to follow? We're just taking a half a step back, bringing our knee down to the floor, raising back up into our neutral position. Step back, bring our knee down towards the floor, and back up. Let's do those a few more times. And relax. The second exercise was the toe touch, and then we're going to rise up into the heel lift. So spread our feet about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit further. Bring our hand down towards an opposite toe. The other hand, reach up towards the sky as we present our chest towards the side. Come back up into T-pose. Lift up onto your toes. And back down. And then swap sides. And press up. Down towards our toes. Back up into T. Raise up. And down. Do 2 more per side. Raise up. And down. Swap sides. Last set. And relax. I'm going to take a 15-second break before we move on to our next 2 exercises. The next 2 exercises is going to be a beginner push-up. And the next one, we're going to do a leg kickback. But as our leg's back, we're going to give it a little pulse, and I'll show you what I mean with that. For the beginner's push-ups, we're going to come down onto our hands and knees. We're going to stay on our knees rather than getting into a plank position. This is one of these exercises where we're going to take our controllers off and just place them on the ground. We're going to put our hands just behind where our controllers are. With our knees still on the ground bent, we're just going to simply do a nice little push-up, coming all the way down, bringing our chest to the floor. And pushing ourselves back up. And we're going to just continue that. Down. And up. We can move our arms out. Take a little bit wider of a stance on our hands. Come down. And press up. And let's continue that. Go at your own pace. As we're pressing up, we're exerting. We can breathe out as we're pressing up. Take a breath in as we're coming down. Let's do a few more. And relax. While we're in this position, we're going to have both hands and knees on the floor. We're going to kick one leg back. With our leg back, we're just going to pulse it up and down a few times. And then come back to a neutral position. Kick the other leg back out. Pulse it up and down a few times. And back. And swap sides. Kick back. Just going to pulse our legs up and down. And back. Let's do that a few more times. Kick back. Pulse the leg. And back. By pulse the leg, I say just a rotation in the hip. Just rotating our hip up and down. And back. Let's do a few more times. Kick back. Pulse the leg. And relax. Kick back. Pulse. And back. Do one more set. Kick back. Pulse. And back. And relax. Take a nice big stretch. We're going to give ourselves another 15 seconds before we do those 2 exercises one more time. It's a good time to grab a drink. Keep nice and hydrated. Okay, let's come back down to the mat. We're on our hands and knees. We can place our controllers out in front of us. I'm going to take our hands right off the controllers. Place our hands just behind our controllers. That way we can put our hands nice and flat on the ground. We can lower our chests down and press back up. Not in a full plank, but just keeping our knees on the ground. These are a beginner push-up. Just to get a little movement into our arms since we're doing a lot of squats today. We want to get some upper body. As we come down, we're bringing our chest nice and down low towards the floor. You can even hold it there a moment. Let's continue a few more times. Last 2. Ready? Let's go through it. Last one. And relax. We're going to stay down on the mat on all fours. I'm going to do a kick back on our leg with the pulse. Kick one leg back nice and straight. Pulse it up and down. And then bring your leg back up towards your knee, or up towards your chest. Kick back. Pulse that leg. And back. And let's repeat. Kick back. And we're just repeating this, alternating legs. Doing one, pulsing. And back. And switch. Let's do 2 more. Per side. Last set. Kick back. Pulse. Back to neutral. Kick the other leg back. Pulse. And relax. Gonna give ourselves another 15-second break. We've got 2 more exercises to do.
He's not stretch time yet? I need the stretches.
No. Oh yeah, we are running quite much,
Yeah.
a bit later than normal, huh? Let's get some stretches in.
Wow.
We went really light last week, and now I'm going extra long this week, right? that was some good. How are you feeling? Did you get warm? Did it make you sweat this week?
I got warm.
Yeah.
I felt muscles.
Yeah.
I
Hello,
had to
lactic
turn up
acid.
my AC.
Yeah.
And
Oh, good. That's what I was going for. I've got a fan on myself, actually, so. Okay, then, let's get into our stretch portion of the routine. Bring an arm across our body. The other arm, we're going to cradle it. Take all the motion out of the sand that you're holding. Hold that arm nice and tight in towards your chest. Turn our heads over the shoulder of the arm we're stretching. We're focused on trying to open up that scapula in the back, the shoulder blade. And relax. Switch sides. Let's bring an arm across our body. With the other arm, we're going to cradle that arm. And pull it in nice and tight towards our chest. And over the shoulder of the arm we're holding, we're going to just turn our heads and look over it. Get a little bit of a neck stretch as we're doing our shoulder as well. We're going to hold that for a good 6 to 8 seconds. Relax and let's switch sides. Let's do that one more time. Bring your arm across your body. The other arm, cradle it. Pull it in nice and tight towards your chest. Look over the shoulder of the arm you're stretching. And switch sides. Pull that arm in nice and tight towards your chest. Looking over our shoulder. Really trying to let that shoulder blade in the back relax and open up. And relax. Next, we're going to do a forward fold. Forward fold is simply coming down, touching our toes, which are keeping our chest nice and tight towards our thighs. If that means we need to bend our knees a little bit, that's okay. But the focus is we're trying to keep our chest nice and tight towards our thighs. So let's fold down. If we need to bend our knees just a bit so that they can be tight, that's okay. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, try to straighten those knees out. And we're feeling a nice stretch, nice tight stretch back here in our hamstrings. Right behind the knee and up into the back of the thigh. And we're going to hold this stretch for about 6 to 8 seconds. And we're going to relax. We're just going to rest a moment and we're going to do that one more time. We're going to fold forward at the waist, bringing our chest nice and tight towards our thighs. Our knees might be bent just a bit. If you can, try to straighten those knees out. Stretching out your hamstrings can relieve a lot of back pain that some people might be experiencing. And relax. Next, we're going to do a standing quad stretch. Quad meaning the quadricep, your thigh. Just this front, or the front part. The back's the hamstrings. Hams, or the bicep of the leg. We're going to bring one leg up. With the opposite hand, we're going to grasp our ankle. We don't want to grab the toes. That could cause a lot of pressure on our knee if we pull back on our toes. So we're going to try to grab onto our ankle. You can bring one hand out forward if we want to maintain balance. We're just going to pull that leg back. You should feel a nice stretch here in your quad. Again, we're going to hold this for about 6 to 8 seconds. And then we're going to switch sides. I'm going to reach back behind us with our hand grabbing the opposite foot. Put a hand up in the air for balance. And then we're going to pull that leg backwards. Feel a nice stretch along here in your quads. And relax. Let's switch sides, do those stretches one more time. Reach back behind you, using your opposite hand to your opposite foot. Put an arm up for balance. And just pull back on that leg. This feels really good after doing so many squat exercises today. Switch.
Yeah.
Reach back behind us, grabbing onto the ankle, not onto the toe. Grab onto the toe, we could cause some pressure on our knee that we don't want to do. I'm going to hold this for a good 6 to 8 seconds. Just a natural breath through the exercise. And relax. Shake our legs out a little. Give them a little shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, 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 shake. Now we're going to stretch out our calves a bit, the lower leg. We're going to take about a half a step forward. With our toes, we're going to pointing up towards the ceiling. So just our heel is placed on the ground. Then we're going to do another forward fold, reaching down towards our toes. Reaching down towards the floor. Not grabbing the toes, we're not trying to pull them back. Just trying to reach down towards them. And you should feel a nice stretch right along here, just below the knee on the back side of your leg. Let's come back to a neutral position and switch sides. I'm going to take a half a step forward, placing our toes up towards the sky. Fold forward at the hips, reaching down towards our toes. Keeping this leg nice and straight. Hold this stretch for a moment. And then rise back up into neutral position. Let's do that one more time. Let's switch sides. Take a half a step forward. Put your toes up towards the sky. Fold forward down at your hips. Or at your waist. At your pelvis. And come up. Switch sides one more time. Half a step forward, heel on the ground. Toes up towards the sky. Fold forward at the hips or at the waist. Keeping this leg nice and straight. Not pulling up on the toes, just reaching down towards them. just got a few more.
Ooh,
I'm going to stretch our hips out a little bit. We're going to take a little bit wider stance than our shoulders. We're going to lean to one side in a lunge, keeping our knee nice and straight forward. We're just going to lean into it, pressing down on this leg. Going to feel a nice stretch right on the inside of this thigh. Now let's switch sides. Leaning to the other side, lean into it. You can put a hand on your knee, one hand on your hip, pressing down, pressing this leg down further in towards the floor. You can feel a nice stretch here in the inner thigh. All of these are going to be very good for us since we worked our quads and our legs quite a bit today. Let's switch sides. Lean out, placing a hand on our knee, one on our hip. We're just pressing that leg down ever so slightly, just so we get a good stretch here in our thigh. And switch one more time. Again, we're trying to make sure our knee's out nice and straight this way. We're not trying to turn it out or turn it in. Let's keep it nice and straight out this way. Tracking over our toes. And relax. And for our last stretch, let's bring it down to the mat. Sit on our butts. Bring our feet in nice and tight towards each other. We're going to go into the butterfly stretch. And grasp our feet. Pull them in tight. With our elbows, we're going to press down onto our knees. Trying to flatten our legs down towards the floor. It's okay if your legs are up high. It's okay if they're down low. Do whatever is at your ability.
I have a kitty cat right in front of me.
Is she helping?
She's helping. She's probably stretching too.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna shake me down for food.
Well, how much food should you be giving your kitty?
Depends on the kitty and the weight
And relax.
and the age.
Yeah. So how can we find out? Like, we can find that out with our cats pretty easy, right? But we can do that with
Yeah.
ourselves too. We can find out how much energy we
Give
need.
me all the food.
All the food?
All
Nom
the
nom 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 nom.
And let's
Oh,
stretch one more time.
Nom, 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 nom.
And how we can
You're like,
we can find out.
like-
Oh, go on.
sorry, she's like Luffy. Give me one of everything, please.
How we can find out how much.
No, if I was like Luffy, I'd be asking for 100 of everything.
Fair.
To find out how much calories we should be taking in and how much we're burning just on a base level. Since we've been exercising and burning more calories, we want to, maybe keep track of that a bit. One way we can do that is with our basal metabolic rate, and that is the lowest amount of calories we're burning in a day if we're doing anything. You can think of it as a car at idle. It's not going anywhere, but it's still burning some fuel, but it's not burning as much as it could be if it was being active. That's what our basal metabolic rate is. If we just laid on the couch and did nothing at all, we weren't even thinking, because thinking actually burns calories. So there's an equation that will help us find our basal metabolic rate. Rather than trying to memorize all these equations and everything, the great thing about the internet is you can just type in basal metabolic rate into the Google search and it'll bring up a calculator for you. And I'm going to post one into the Discord in our in our fitness and health section. And with that, that'll give us a little bit of an idea of how many calories we're burning in a day without doing anything at all. And then from there, we can start calculating how much we're taking in and how much we're burning in exercise. And if we can get that to balance out, or even if we were able to burn more calories, then we can start losing weight and becoming more fit. So I've actually got that calculator up here. I'm going to post that right up right now so I don't forget. Because you know me.